Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about my favorite photographer of all time, Nick Brandt. So if you've never heard of Nick before, he does these beautiful wildlife portraits in East Africa. He is also co-founder of Big Life Foundation, which they are dedicated to conserving and protecting animals in East Africa in very large areas. So if you ever have some time, look up Big Life Foundation. I first learned of Nick by my professor of my darkroom photography class, and if you didn't hear anything about that, watch this video up here. It'll give you a little bit of insight about that. But I was Googling, trying to find a photographer that I was going to write a paper about, and ended up stumbling upon Nick's work because at the time I was searching for film photographers that focused on wildlife, and Nick was the first person to come up. And this beautiful photo of a lion that I'll put up right now. Specifically today, I want to highlight some images from one of my favorite books of his and series. It's called Inherit the Dust. And this book is just filled with some of the most amazing photographs I've ever seen. And specifically, I think the cool story about this book is that most of these photos that are in here, the big photos, are actually photos that Nick didn't like, or he thought they didn't work, and then blew them up to large life-size scale and then put them in these places across East Africa where these animals used to roam. It's a very powerful set of images, really speaks to me and my love for wildlife personally. Unbelievable, some of these images, they carry such emotional weight to them. This book is also very special to me because my parents got it for me, and Nick actually signed and personalized this on his website. You can get one yourself if you go to his website, but it's really, really special to me. Love his work. Nick, if you ever end up watching this, thank you for your work. Thank you for all that you do. And now let's go highlight some of these beautiful photographs. So here we go. All right, so as I'm flipping through this book really quick, I'm actually looking for a very specific photo. I'm gonna see if I can do this. Oh, this book is so big. Here's this photo. All right, you know what, this isn't working. Okay, so we're gonna jump into this and a couple of photographs that really speak to me from this set. We are gonna be looking at them digitally, but I really encourage you to look at it on your laptop and not on your phone, just as Nick says on his website, and buy one of the books because they're beautiful photographs and I guarantee you they'll change your perspective. So let's dive into a couple photos here. Okay, so here we are, this first photo here. And this isn't the first photo in the book, but this is the first one that always just captures my attention because it is just this beautiful landscape of a quarry. And you have this beautiful portrait of a giraffe looking off in the distance and looking off at these construction equipment that look like giraffes. It's just, it's kind of mind blowing at first when you just glance at this photo. You're like, oh, look at all those giraffes. But this is reality, right? This is somewhere where this giraffe would have roamed once before and now doesn't because of human intervention. And it's just unreal. And if you look really close, I'm going to zoom in here. If you look really close, he did a very good job. He and his team did a very good job of blending these horizon lines in the photos together, and even in the sky as well. Like you have this similar sort of sky gradient, and it's just unreal that, you know, I'm sure these photos took so long. And Nick, if I ever get a chance to talk to you on this channel, I am definitely going to ask you about this photo and just how long it took to capture this. Really beautiful photo, and just the technique behind it, and, you know, the wide stitching of all these photographs together. It's just beautiful. Okay, this one I know he's talked about before in a video interview, but this one always speaks to me as well because it's such a unique looking photo. This photo just represents so much, and it's a crazy, crazy photograph because it's not photoshopped. These life-size plates are really in these spaces. And of course, you know, you can't direct people or anything like that. So these are natural moments that Nick just had to wait to happen. So I'm going to zoom in on this one as well because there are a couple things I want to point out. In this area right here, you have this little child that's looking at these elephants, and this blending down here, look at this. Let me zoom in some more. It looks like the trunk is resting on the ground, but that's actually more of this frame here. But the child reaching out with a stick and trying to touch the elephant to figure out what it is, that's just a powerful, powerful moment. And then if you look over here, we have a lot of people that are sniffing glue and the massive amount of homeless people here. But then you have this lovely billboard in the back that he pointed this out as well. And it just says, lean back, your life is on track. And just having that showcasing, what life is supposed to be like there, and then seeing real life here with homeless kids and people sniffing glue, it's just the complete opposite of what, that billboard is trying to showcase here. But again, beautiful photograph and just capturing so much in the moment and so much in this frame to tell a story from beginning to end of where these animals were, where people are now, and what the state of wildlife, whether human or animal, is in this space is absolutely breathtaking. Okay, so this one right here, another brilliant photograph, but just look at the detail in this image. I mean, it is just like the perfect reflection off of the water of both the animal and the excavator there. And it's just, look at this frame within a frame here. I just love how it draws your eye in, and it's just, it's just a beautiful photo, but it's also, really sad as well because, that elephant can't live there anymore. Last but not least, this particular set of photos is really powerful because they showcase how these images came together and prove that they're not Photoshopped. I mean, you can look at them and tell they're not Photoshopped, but still. I appreciate the fact that he puts them in these books, but you can see them putting together the frames, having to carry them, and then actually setting them up, tying them down. It's just unreal that all that work went into this particular set of photos. Okay, so that's Inherit the Dust. So this photo in particular, this is from Across the Ravaged Land, is the one I first saw on Google for his photography. And it's just such a majestic photo of a lion. You can see the power, you can see the intensity in the eyes. And I don't know what it is about this photo of this lion that I love so much, other than it's simply just a beautiful photograph. But like the way the lion is turned and, his posture's up, he's ready, he's looking out, and it's just, I don't know, the light hitting him on the face just right. It's just a great photo. And, one thing about Nick is that he doesn't use any zoom lenses. These are all primes. So he really is that close to this lion and spending days out there waiting for these shots to happen. Unbelievable dedication to your craft. One other photo that from this set that speaks to me is this photo here, which is a line of rangers with tusks of killed elephants. It's sad to see that this many elephants are being killed out there in East Africa. It's a shame, really. Poaching is just, I don't understand it. Not much to say about that other than it's just heartbreaking. But just knowing that these elephants, used to roam this area and now don't anymore. And also seeing all of these rangers that are now protecting this land is really, inspiring to me, but also just, the bleakness of this photo, but also everybody lined up. It's just a beautiful line running across this image. It's again, very powerful image. So talking about Nick, he does a lot of black and white stuff, but when he does color photography, it is also beautiful. His newest collection of photos called Sink Rise is the third chapter in The Day May Break. So this is focusing on the South Pacific Islanders impacted from rising oceans and climate change. I'll show you my favorite one. I'm not going to spend too much time on this particular set because I don't have the book yet to really appreciate these. I just want to look at this one particular one that just completely stuck out to me when I saw these images initially. So this photo here, I just, look at this. You got a guy sitting down here underwater with a table and a chair, and you can see this giant cliff above him, showing the power of nature, showing how small we are compared to the oceans of the world, and how if everything starts to rise in terms of water levels, here we are at the bottom. It's just, oh man. One thing that really sticks out to me about these photos is that, any of these photos, that nobody looks like they're holding their breath underwater. Everybody's got a pretty neutral looking face, or, they're able to show some emotion because there's no air being held in their cheeks there. They had weights on them so they would not float away. It's just unreal. Again, the level of dedication that he puts into his photography is absolutely breathtaking, and something that I really aspire to do as well is to take my time with photography. And Nick has really showcased how he does that with his images here and across his entire portfolio. One interesting fact that I will say about Nick, and we will wrap up here, but he got his start making music videos. And the music video that inspired him to go out and take these beautiful photos of wildlife in East Africa was Michael Jackson's song, Earth Song. And I always find that very interesting because that song always spoke to me when I first heard it. And the fact that it, drove somebody to go out and capture these beautiful photos of animals and to start a foundation to help save these animals is beautiful. I love this stuff, and I love his photos, and I just really appreciate everything that he's doing for wildlife conservation. So Nick, thank you so much for what you do. So if any of these photos inspired you, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to talk to you about them and share some stories about these photographs. And if you want to purchase any of the books, I'm going to leave Nick's website down in the description below, and you can take a look and purchase from his website. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. Please remember to like and subscribe for more videos just like this, and I'll see you in the next one.